Now, on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app, O'Connor and Company.
It's 6:06 this Friday in your nation's capital. It's O'Connor and Company. Thanks for ending your week and launching into your weekend face first with us on your favorite morning program. Coming up at 7:05, an important conversation about these tariffs from a skeptic, senior economist Ryan Young from Competitive Enterprise Institute. 7:35, can't wait to praise this young lady. Courageous Stephanie Turner took a knee in a fencing tournament rather than actually fight against a biological male, and now she's being punished. 8:05, Byron York, Washington Examiner, and then at 8:35, Amanda Chase wants to be your governor of Virginia, and we'll find out why at that time. It's Larry O'Connor with Patrice Onwuka. Good morning, Patrice.
Good morning. Happy Friday, everybody. We made it.
You are bringing the funk right now, and I appreciate it.
I like it.
It's just like that groove.
Little MJ in the morning.
Yeah. People listening on the podcast don't hear this music right now. You know that? So we're just going to bob our head.
Well, imagine listening to some MJ, folks.
Exactly. All right. Let's turn to Cory Booker. Now, you'll remember earlier this week, he spent 24 hours plus in a pointless speech on the Senate floor that they're calling a filibuster, but it really wasn't, because a filibuster is designed in the Senate to stop legislation that a single senator objects to, and you have to close debate, and as long as one senator keeps talking and talking. Now, this has been employed before. Ted Cruz most recently employed it to try to keep the Affordable Care Act from being implemented, and senators who do this, they know that it's a lost cause. They know that eventually the legislation is going to go through, but the whole point is to draw the public's attention to that bill and the damages that they are concerned. So with Ted Cruz, he was 100% right. Every single thing that Ted Cruz warned about with Obamacare, Affordable Care Act being implemented. If you like your doctor, you can't keep your doctor. If you like your medical insurance, you won't be able to keep your medical insurance. Costs are going to go up. It's going to be harder for you to get to out. All of those things came true. He was right. Strom Thurmond, before that, actually had the record for the longest filibuster on the floor of the Senate. That was to stop the Civil Rights Act in the 60s. Yes. He was wrong, by the way, for that. A Democrat, but those Democrats loved segregation at the time. Still do, in their own way, through their own. Now they do it in the corporate boardroom
they call
instead
it
of the way
DEI,
they used to do it with Bull Connor and a bullhorn and a fire hose. All right, so now here's Cory Booker. He wasn't stopping any legislation. There was nothing pending on the floor. He just kept talking and talking and talking for no reason whatsoever. Here's what it sounded like. Cut 8 here. Here's a little Cory Booker.
Nay. Behold, Lord, here I am. And so I confess that I have been imperfect. I confess that I've been inadequate to the moment. I confess that the Democratic Party has made terrible mistakes that have given lane to this demagogue.
Yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, so it was all just to yell about Donald Trump, but of course to no effect. Now, if you think about it, a Democrat standing up and ranting for over 24 hours to no end, really, and for no justifiable reason other than to just express their hatred for Donald Trump, which is nothing more than an act of political onanism. Ultimately, though, that shoots him to the top of the ranks of potential Democrat candidates for president because, I mean, that's what the Democrats are these days. Just for no reason whatsoever, scream and rant about Donald Trump, and you're going to be beloved. You're going to be, yes, that's our guy, because that's all they stand for. But there were some people saying, no, he's not going to run for president. He already tried to run for president. It was a disaster. It didn't work. All right. Well, if you were on the fence about whether Cory Booker is going to run for president, I've got proof positive now that he's 100% running. Here he was yesterday on Morning Joe, cut 6. Take a listen carefully to what he says.
Something that parents rely on, that children with disabilities rely on, with birthing mothers relying on.
Birthing
mothers?
Now, he doesn't have it quite right because I think the complete politically correct statement is supposed to be birthing persons, right? Because if you use the term mother, that suggests female identification, because we all know now that in the Democratic Party, a father can give birth, right? You could be a father and give birth. But he tried so hard. He meant birthing, but it's that kind of language, Patrice, I think, that sort of indicates he's trying to check all the boxes for the woke left.
Well, yes. I mean, he obviously wants to run. I actually think that it's more he wants to, on the way to the run, galvanize support and become the new face of the movement. Right now, I think the left has a vacuum of leadership. They view Hakeem Jeffries as weak, just kind of a speed bump to be run over. And they hate Chuck Schumer, even more when the clips that we've been playing of him talking about the need to stop illegal immigration, when those start making the rounds through circles. So there is no one other than maybe AOC or Jasmine Crockett. And I think Cory Booker is saying, wait, hold my beer. This is my time to shine now. There should be someone in the Senate who is putting a face on the party and the movement right now. And so we haven't seen Cory Booker in I don't know how many years. And suddenly he appears on this stage at a time when the Democrats are floundering for both policy and communication. And he just steps forward. He has another Spartacus moment and this 25 hours of speaking. That's really what this is. He wants to be the leader, and then hopefully that will carry him down the line into 2028, when everybody else starts coming out of the woodwork to run.
You refer to the Spartacus when we cut 7 here. This was the Kavanaugh hearing to confirm Justice Kavanaugh, and again, a fruitless mission. He was confirmed. But this was Cory Booker. He had already indicated that he would run for president in 2020, so he was auditioning for the part. Let's hear it, Cory.
This is about the closest I'll probably ever have in my life to an I am Spartacus moment.
That is, nobody really still understands what that means. And by the way, let's not forget what happened to Spartacus in the end. He was crucified. Here's the headlines. The headlines on this. Now, I want you to. I'm gonna read these headlines. This is a test. I know I'm throwing it at you unprepared. But I'm interested to see what your take is. If you can notice a trend, not about what these headlines point out, but what the headlines ignore, what the headlines don't refer to. All right, here we go. New York Times, finally some fire. Cory Booker's 25-hour speech strikes a chord at home. USA Today, Senator Cory Booker says he didn't eat for days, stopped hydrating before history-making speech. NPR, see the moment Senator Cory Booker broke Strom Thurmond's record. CNN, how Senator Cory Booker prepared his body for a record 24-hour-long speech. MSNBC, Cory Booker's 24-hour Senate speech, the odds don't seem so impossible anymore. And finally, The Atlantic, Cory Booker, endurance athlete, the New Jersey senator broke congressional records by speaking for more than 25 hours. How did he do it? All right, did you notice a trend there?
Oh, absolutely. They use the same headline and just change the words a little bit, talking about his stamina, his moxie.
But yeah, what were all the headlines about?
About Cory Booker running for president, being the new face of the movement.
They were just actually even more narrow. It was just about he spoke for 25 hours. How did he do it? Talk about his stamina, how he didn't drink, how he didn't, how did he prepare his body?
Not what he said.
You know what none of them are talking about? Do you know what none of these articles said? None of these articles mentioned anything about the actual substance of the speech. None of these headlines, all of this coverage of Cory Booker, and none of it has to do with an issue, a policy, a position, as something that he stands for. It's like he spoke for 25 hours. Really? What did he say? What does he stand for? What do the Democrats present to the American people as an alternative? Nothing. Because the entire speech was just Trump's bad, Trump's bad, Trump's bad, Trump's bad. Until they get out of that rut, Patrice, they're not a legitimate political party. It's not just about opposing Trump. It's about actually presenting something for the American people to vote for, not just vote against. It's 6:16. Let's
WMAL, making sense of the news. Live from the Home Paramount Pest Control Studios. Home Paramount, the leader in pest control since 1939.
Hearing yesterday, Senate Judiciary Committee, where they were trying to talk about the issues with judges, talking about the problems with judges overstepping their constitutional lanes to try to infringe on the executive branch and the legislative branch, as we've been seeing. And Amy Klobuchar, Democrat from Minnesota, wanted a gotcha moment here with one of the witnesses that she was talking to. This witness's name is Jesse Panuccio. And as you'll hear in this clip, Klobuchar is trying to get this witness, this lawyer, constitutional lawyer, to condemn Donald Trump for criticizing judges that he disagrees with on social media. All right, so that's the whole point of this. Amy Klobuchar tries to get this to happen, but watch what this guy, Jesse Panuccio, does to Amy Klobuchar. Or I should say, listen to what Amy Klobuchar has to deal with. Take a listen.
And not in a partisan way, just normal. As a partner in a law firm, have you ever taken to social media to personally attack a judge who ruled against you? That's all my question is.
Senator, thanks for the question. I think that attacking judges personally and not their reasoning, well, let me just give you a quote. I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind and you will pay the price.
I've asked
you. Want to know, you won't know what hit you if you go forward with those awful decisions. That was something that Senator Schumer said, and I thought it was awful, and it unleashed a wave of violent threats against Supreme Court justices. I do think that's problematic, that kind of language.
I have no doubt the language is a problem on their left or right. I was just asking you.
Ooh.
You heard her trying to interrupt him.
Yeah.
Oh, it was fantastic. For those of you who aren't familiar, real fast, he was directly quoting Chuck Schumer, who, forget about social media, he had all the cameras of the world on him while he was standing in front of a screaming mob of abortion enthusiasts in front of the Supreme Court, and this is what it sounded like.
I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price.
That's right. And within a year of that, there was a gentleman arrested for attempted assassination of Brett Kavanaugh and kidnapping of his children in front of his home. So I love that moment so much. I love that moment. And by the way, it's all a false premise. Real fast, the very beginning of Amy Klobuchar's question here, take a listen.
And not in a partisan way, just normal. As a partner in a law firm, have you ever taken to social media to personally attack a judge who ruled against you?
Right. So she's trying to do a gotcha against Donald Trump for criticizing this federal judge who has ruled against him and overstepped his constitutional bounds. But it's a false premise in the question because, of course, a partner in a law firm would never do that. But not because they don't have the right to do it, not because it would be inappropriate to do it. A partner in law firm would not do it because they would be afraid of ticking off that judge. And they might have to be in front of that judge again. Right. They may be in front of that judge again for another case, and they'd be afraid that the judge would then take it personally and punish them for it. So in other words, Amy Klobuchar's question, in my opinion, reinforces the fact that judges have gone way too far in exercising and exerting their power in the courtroom, because the only reason you wouldn't why shouldn't somebody disagree with the judge if they ruled against them? Because you're afraid of that judge. We shouldn't be afraid.
You're afraid of the retribution, and there's no one there willing to or able to stand up, which is, why you see President Trump standing up to some of these judges. Listen, I think that as much as we can, we use the left's words against them. They are so slippery when it comes to the lies that and the shifting positions. And so that's the better response than trying to twist your tongue, figuring out a way to say something that you really don't want to say and give in to them. Just give them their own words back, and it's more than enough. I love that response.
But it's funny, whenever Donald Trump criticizes judges, whether as president of the United States or when he was a former president and judges were ruling against him in inappropriate in those civil and criminal cases against him, all the analysis that you would hear was, well, Trump shouldn't do that because it's just going to make the judge madder. It's just going to make the judge rule against him even more because he's making the judge mad. And it's like, think about that for a second. A judge shouldn't make rulings based on his emotions.
No,
a judge
it shouldn't be
should not,
based on retribution.
That's right. But it's sort of baked in the cake. We all, we take that as standard legal analysis. It's like, well, you should never publicly criticize a judge because then they'll take it out against you. That right there proves that there's something wrong right now with the power that judges have and the fact that they use their own personal bias against people who should be presumed innocent in front of them. So, again, maybe I'm overthinking this, but good job, Jesse Panuccio, turning the tables in real time on Amy Klobuchar and quoting Minority Leader Chuck Schumer right back at her. She was not expecting it. Jesse Panuccio, by the way, he's a former third-ranking official at the Department of Justice, and he is currently at Boies Schiller Flexner. It's 6:23.
Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
And it's 6:37 as we were just going through this Friday morning at lightning speed. Coming up at 7:05, Ryan Young, Competitive Enterprise Institute, will get his analysis of the proposed tariffs. 7:35, Stephanie Turner. She's that female fencer who took a knee rather than fight against a biological male in the women's competition. 8:05 will be Byron York of Washington Examiner. Byron York has done a wrap-up of all of this. You know, the newfound, oh, my gosh, in hindsight, it seems like Joe Biden might not have been fully capable of performing the duties of president.
What? No way,
Byron's,
I can't believe
I know it's shocking revelations. None of us saw that. Byron York will break that down for us. 8:35, Amanda Chase. She's running for governor, so it's a busy morning, but it's always busy when Patrice Onwuka is here bringing the heat. Good morning, Patrice.
Good morning, Larry. Happy Friday, everybody.
Yeah, happy Friday. Yeah, yesterday we broke news here where I guaranteed and put my name, reputation, the reputation of this program. You weren't here, Patrice, but I put your reputation on the line too. This entire radio station. Frankly, I put the reputation of the entire talk radio medium on the line when I guaranteed the people of the world. You know, all these stories out there that you'll see from Politico saying insiders are saying Elon Musk will step down soon from running DOGE. You know, sources say Elon Musk is going to step down from DOGE. No. Screw that. I'm putting my name on it. No anonymous source here. I am telling you, Larry O'Connor guarantees Elon Musk will step down from the Department of Government Efficiency no later than May 30th. Put that in the bank. Lock it down. 100% it's going to happen. Well, because, of course, that's the law. He has to. He has no choice. He's a temporary federal employee. They're only allowed to stay on the job for 130 days. He started on January 20th, May 30th. Will be that. But it doesn't matter. That's not stopping the media from going nuts. Elon Musk is stepping down. Elon Musk will be dead. No, of course he will. Hey, here's how ABC News covered it. Cut 12. Listen to this.
And we have breaking news right now. Sources tell ABC News Elon Musk could be taking a step back from his role in the administration.
Breaking. It was breaking news. Yeah. No, of course he will. Caroline Levitt, by the way, called this out. He said, this scoop is garbage. He said, Caroline Levitt says, Elon Musk and President Trump have both publicly stated that Elon will depart from public service as a special government employee when his work at DOGE is complete. All right, so that's done. I mean, it's just a joke. Of course he's stepping down. He has no choice but to step down. However, yesterday, here is news. This is news. On Air Force One, President Trump went back, did his little stand in the doorway and talk to the reporters and throw him a bone now and again. And he confirmed that even if Elon Musk, which he will, even when Elon Musk steps away from the Department of Government Efficiency, the work will continue. Here's cut 13.
Sense of how long Elon Musk's mission will last and when he will depart.
Well, Elon is fantastic. And I think he's a patriot, and I think it's a shame what they're doing with his car company. And a great car. It's a great car, great product. And it tells you what a patriot he is. He's amazing. No, I mean, as long as he'd like. I like smart people, and he's a smart person. I also like him personally. When he endorsed me, that's when I really got to know him. I knew him a little bit before that, but not much. And then he endorsed me. And it was a very strong, embracing endorsement, as we all know. And I would say Elon will stay for a certain period of time, and then he's going to want to get back to his businesses full time. But he's done a fantastic job. We found hundreds of, think of it, just hundreds of, we found millions of dollars of fraud and abuse and waste. And they're still going. I mean, they're going strong.
Actually, and real fast here, cut 15. Here's where Trump talks about the work continuing.
Even when Elon leaves and goes back to being CEO, will DOGE stick around in some kind of capacity?
Yeah, it'll still DOGE itself. Yeah, at some point.
There you go. So DOGE is going to continue working because obviously there's a lot to do and there's a lot to find, right, Patrice?
Absolutely. So when two things. Number one, we knew that there would be that there was supposed to be a report of recommendations that DOGE would be making, and working alongside the congressional committee in the House that's also advancing DOGE legislation to codify things that cannot be done directly through DOGE's efforts or through executive orders. Number two, boy. When this was first announced at the end of last year, you remember how the media tried to drive a wedge between Elon Musk and President Trump by inflating Elon Musk's ego and saying the two of them can't be in the same room together. They're going to hate each other. Yes. This is going to be short-lived, and both of them are too much of ego megalomaniacs, and look at how they have not just coexisted, they have worked closely together, which tells me that we have not seen the end of Elon Musk working for the federal government in some capacity or serving President Trump's administration in different capacities. Maybe he'll be just kind of a special advisor who comes in from time to time. But I think that even when he leaves from this specific position, don't think that's the end of Elon Musk with this administration or obviously in politics.
Amen to that. And by the way, you're 100% right. And again, we've been talking about the hypocrisy. Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, coming out in favor of blocking illegal immigrants from Social Security and coming out in favor of tariffs against China from 1996. We played that video earlier. We can also show you video after video after video of them and Bill Clinton and Barack Obama all saying that our government is full of waste and fraud and abuse and we've got to get rid of it and we've got to make it more efficient. Yeah. It's like, it's so maddening. This is why people hate politicians. It's why they can't stand what they do, and we're here to point it out and sort of stoke those fires. That said, Trump also teased yesterday that DOGE has uncovered something. Well, I'll let you hear it. Cut 14.
They're going strong. They found something today that's horrible. It's horrible. So what they found, well, you'll find out very soon. What they found is incredible. And I give him a lot of credit. He's got some very smart people with him.
Do you think he can finish?
They're working very closely.
Come on, dude. You can't do that to us.
I speculate. Can I speculate what I think it is?
Yeah. What?
The Obamas. I mean, I've been seeing rumblings that the Obamas were getting a payout through the Affordable Care Act in some way. Maybe there's more to it than that.
It's good speculating. We do love speculating here. That could be it. Trump
says
speculation. DOGE found something.
Allegations.
DOGE found something horrible. Could be that, or it could be that we've been bankrolling that Netflix show for Meghan Markle.
Harry and Meghan. Oh.
Yeah, that could be a USAID thing. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing more horrible than that. It's actually that's not true. We could be bankrolling the Hilaria Baldwin family reality show. That would be the end of the Republic. Yeah, that would be
pretty bad.
It's 6:44. The market's
WMAL, making sense of education, because what's happening in your kid's school matters. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
So President Trump, of course, has appointed Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as the Secretary of Health and Human Services. And he's got a lot of ideas, obviously. And many people thought that he might be ideal for the Food and Drug Administration. Or excuse me, I'm so sorry, for the Department of Agriculture. Because so much of RFK Jr.'s emphasis has to do with food and with appropriate methods of growing and the preservatives, the chemicals, all of that stuff, which don't fall under HHS. They fall under the Department of Agriculture, as well as food stamps. Food stamps is a function of the Department of Agriculture.
Yes, it is under agriculture. Right? Yeah.
But RFK Jr. is sort of pushing that said, the departments all work together on certain programs, and HHS certainly has a little bit of a influence on what goes on with SNAP recipients and various aspects of the food stamp programs. So he's trying to push for something that's been bubbling out there for a couple of weeks, and that is a ban on soda being purchased with food stamps. Frankly, I think they should go well beyond soda. If people are getting assistance from the federal government for sustenance and for nutrition, for food, the N in SNAP stands for nutrition, then I think that it should only be used for healthy, nutritious choices. You know, it always freaks me out when you can see at McDonald's or at other places that are, frankly, are pretty food that's pretty bad for you.
Probably not healthy.
That they take food stamps there. So he's encouraging states that apply for waivers on the food stamp program to allow them to ban people from buying sodas using food stamp benefits. That's how he's sort of trying to make this happen. But I'm not sure what those waivers are for. I'll read into this while you react. But this is popular with some circles, but it's grossly unpopular with many other circles. Patrice, what do you think?
It's not surprising. Listen, soda and sugary drinks have time and time again been proved to be linked to diabetes and other health conditions. And by the way, when people contract diabetes and other health-related conditions, then unfortunately some of them need help taking care of themselves, particularly if you're in a public assistance program to begin with. You'll probably continue to need other public assistance to deal with the health issues as a result. So this is actually kind of a step ahead of getting ahead of diabetes, getting ahead of high blood pressure and all of those other health conditions that make people very susceptible and to diseases that can kill them early, and frankly to the government also supporting them because they can't work or take care of themselves as a result. So I mean, I think this is a good step. He's also talked about milk and ensuring that every public school that no longer uses 2% milk or low-fat, no-fat milk, but actually uses whole milk. And you're also hearing a lot of backlash about it too. But hey, Michelle Obama wanted to see healthier public schools. What's wrong? Public school lunches. What's wrong with him wanting to see?
She did, except that her healthy public school lunches were like, pieces of cardboard and nuts and twigs. Kennedy's a little bit more robust than that. Yeah, the bottom line is this has to do with soda or processed food. And people are saying, well, the government should stay out of people's business. They shouldn't be telling them what they can or can't eat.
Really?
Oh, no. I say you have the freedom to eat whatever the hell you want. Absolutely. But the second we start subsidizing it, the second we're paying for your food, and this is 42 million Americans who access $113 billion worth of benefits, the second I have to pay for it, well, I think that I can put a couple of demands on it, and then you have the choice. You can either take the federal subsidies and buy healthy food that'll make you healthy, or you can go ahead and buy whatever junk you want. 653.